Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Get Inspired, Stay Inspired. Welcome. And yeah, glad to be here as always. Glad that you're here with me. It's always great to be doing another episode. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe. And if you've been a part of my life's journey and been watching this series, then please feel free to smash the like button for me. Put on your bell notifications and you're going to know when another episode is coming out soon. So, hey, we're here. Wow. I've kind of been continuing with this series, Get Inspired, Stay Inspired, as I called it in the end. And, you know, it's been definitely kind of a series of evolution. I don't know if you want to go back and watch some of the very old episodes. They're probably a little bit jarring and, you know, I was kind of exploring this whole process of doing a channel, but you know, I've kind of grown into it slowly but surely and found a way to kind of you know, get my message across and try and do it in a much quicker way than I used to in the past. So bear with me. I'm still someone who kind of tends to go on in tangents and so on, but I'm really pleased you're here. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about choice, making choices and decisions and things like that. For those of you who don't know me, I'm going to be sharing one of my channel passages. All my work is soulful, and I'm going to be inspiring and empowering you in a way that you probably haven't perceived before, and that's from a soulful standpoint. Okay, now, how are you doing? How is life treating you? Hope you are doing okay. Don't forget to leave comments for me about, you know, what you've been learning and what you've been applying. And if you're new, even if you say, hey, I don't know what the heck's going on here, it doesn't matter. I will look forward to receiving your comments and responding to them as best I can as I go along. So I hope everything is okay. All is good at my end. I've just been kind of thinking about sharing more of my material, finding new ways to do so, and you know, obviously this is a very important part of that. So yeah, it's really nice to be doing another episode, and hopefully we can delve deeper and find out a little bit more about this whole concept of choice, and you know, how do we perceive choice or making choices from a soulful level? How do we make the right decisions? And you know, do we look to our mind? Do we look to our soul? Well, you know what I'm going to say. I'm always going to say you're going to need to look to your soul, not just your mind. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that as we go on, and talk a little bit about how you can do that, as well as how you can, you know, get your mind to tune in and support you in whatever choices that you're going to make, because that's going to be important as well. So I'm definitely going to be covering that as we go along. So yeah, let's get on with it and see how we can delve in today's episode and which channel passage this is. By the way, as I've always been saying recently, because I'm working through this volume of work called 30 Days of Empowerment, you can go and get a copy of it. It's an audio, okay, so you can listen to it wherever you are, but go and get a copy of it because it's free at the moment. All you need to do is sign up to my 365 Ways to Stay Inspired email list, and bam, you start receiving inspiration every day for a whole year. And as part of it, you get a copy of this 30 Days of Empowerment volume of work. I know you're going to enjoy it. It is ideally supposed to be listened to it over a 30-day period, but you know, I just thought I'll start incorporating them as part of my Get Inspired, Stay Inspired series. Prior to that, we were working through inspirational photo quotes for the soul. That was version 1, version 2, version 3. They're free as well. Look at the description, go and download them and have a little listen to those as well. I've got lots of material to share, and so yeah, go out and claim it. You know, start listening, start learning, start finding out more about this powerful, soulful work that I've been doing and trying to share with others and share with you as well. So let's see what we've got in store today. I'm going to go through this particular channel passage, and for those of you who are following along on the audio, it's day 17, so, or number 17, whichever you want to call it. Now, as I said previously, what I'm doing and how I'm working through it in this particular video or audio series that I'm doing now, it's not identical. You're going to get the same passages that we're going to be talking about, but with these ones that, you know, I'm doing, you know, on video, I'm going to be delving deeper. So, you know, you might want to get it and also tune into the video or the audio that I'm doing, because it's going to take you deeper, but it's a really powerful listen on its own. So definitely go and claim it. Okay, right, now this particular channel passage says, with the acceptance of my ability to choose that which I want in life, let me remain empowered by this thought and go on to create all that I choose. Now, I love this. I always say this, don't I? For those of you who know me, I always say this. I love this passage, but I do. Yeah, I love this passage because it talks about acceptance of your ability to choose that which you want in life. Now, a lot of you may not really realize the power of choice that you have at your disposal in your life. In other words, you may think, okay, I've got to make choices, I've got to choose things. Do you know what I mean? And let's talk a little bit about the sort of choices you can make. For example, it could be, you know, who am I going to partner up with in life? You know, who am I going to love or be part of my relationship? Then you're going to go on, maybe it's going to be family choices, maybe personal choices, maybe choices to do with your finances. What you're going to do, you're going to invest, you're going to, you know, save, you're going to, you know, spend, or you're going to, you know, you know, give, or whatever. What are the choices involved in that? And then you're going to look at things like choices with your job, with your career. You know, how are you going to make a choice about moving on and finding another job, or making a career change in your life? You know, how are things going to pan out with your relationship? You know, are things going to go well? Do you feel you need to move on? Do you feel you need to stay? A plethora of choice. Now, it's not so much that you have to sit there and make choices and choose this and that, or make, you know, informed decisions, okay? But what you've got to understand is making choices is ultimately the key to defining your destiny, the key to ironing out a path of where you're going to go in your life, or where you're going to go with any of those decisions you're going to make. Choice is very, very important and powerful, in the sense that you are going to be able to use those choices, okay, to create whatever you choose to. That is its power. It's not necessarily just about, oh, I got to decide this or choose this, or, you know, it's also about making certain choices that you can then go on to create in your life what you choose to, what you want to. And, you know, recognizing the power of choice is something that goes, I don't know, so easily kind of glossed over. I wouldn't say misunderstood, but underutilized. Let's use that word, underutilized, okay? You feel like choices are just about these mundane things going on in your life, but it's not necessarily that. It's also about making choices. And I'm going to talk to you on two levels, okay? If you know me, you know I'm going to talk about the universal choices and that level, and the physical choices. Now, all we've talked about now has been physical choices. You know, am I going to stay at my job? Am I going to leave? Am I going to talk to my family, or I'm not going to talk to them? They got, you know, they did something that got on my nerves, and I'm not talking to them. You know, did my friend get me upset and I'm not speaking to, you know, those kind of choices, or relationship, or love, or, you know, financial, whatever. You've got these physical choices to make, but there's also other choices that I want you to become aware of. I want you to kind of realize the power of choice, where it can originate from, where you can gain insight on very important choices that you need to make, especially if they relate to your life's purpose, your life's destiny, what you're going to do in your life, how you're going to achieve it, how are you going to succeed, what choices are you going to make to ensure you succeed, are you going to fail, what choices did you make that have led to failure. You know, what are you going to learn from those lessons? What are you going to take away from that? This is the power of choice. And I like what the passage says when it says in the very beginning, with the acceptance of my ability to choose. This is very similar to what we spoke about, I don't know, a couple of episodes with regards to inner power. And this is the concept of acceptance. Acceptance of my ability to choose. You've got to accept you have this power. You have this ability to choose, you know, not just the mundane things, but to choose where you are headed, what your destiny is, what you intend to be or become. You have that power, and accepting it is going to be the key to opening the doorway for you to make use of that power. And when I say make use of it, it's not just in mundane physical decisions. I'm now talking about the use of this power on a soulful level, on a level that, you know, is energy based, that you can tune into and become a part of. And these choices and these decisions are going to be key to moving you forward. Now, let's look about the fact that it also says that making these choices, making these decisions, doing this kind of soulful acceptance or acknowledgement, doing that is going to lead not just to empowerment, but you having the power to go on to create all that you choose, not what someone else is choosing for you, not what someone else is telling you, not what Joe Blogs is drumming into your head that you can't do, but what you choose to do. What are the unique qualities you have that you need to now be tapping into and making use of. Listen, if you watch the previous episodes, I have said time and time again that no one is party to the information you are going to get from your soul. And, I speak time and time again about this whole process of soul engagement and how you can engage your soul or engage with your soul to rebuild your bonds, rebuild your partnerships, rebuild the communication links. This is something which is really key in my book, The Soul Whisperer. I'll tell you a bit more about that later, but rebuild the communication bond you need to have with your soul. Why? Because if you are going to make choices in your life, and I mean beyond the physical, fine, on a soulful level, you are going to find all the answers you need to the physical choices that you're going to have to make, okay? Definitely, there's definitely going to be that element there. But I'm talking also about the soulful choices or the universal choices you're going to have to make as well as you are journeying as part of this physical journey, as you are partaking in this physical process of existing in the physical form. Now, so how are we going to achieve it? You know, fine, you've spoken to me about, you know, soulful things, but how? Well, you have to first accept your ability to do what I'm about to tell you, which is to understand the soulful concept of being able to align yourself with your soul, partner up with your soul, listen to your soul. And the best way I can tell you to do that, apart from acceptance and acknowledgement, is to do what I term a soul engagement. And that is a process by which I take you through a series of steps. I call them the 10 secret steps to soul engagement. And I've also now created the 10 secret steps to mind engagement, and I'll explain why. But with the 10 secret steps to soul engagement, they're a series of steps you can take that will allow you to engage your soul, allow you to connect with it, allow you to build a bond with it. And then ultimately, it's going to allow you to listen to what your soul has to say. So the questions you ask, okay, when you have choices to make, big choices, as well as the physical choices, when you have big choices to make, have a guess what? Your soul knows the answers to them immediately, okay? Your soul knows the answers. You may think, how is that possible? The reason it's possible is because your journey and destiny was already foretold before you arrived here in your physical form. Your soul energy is part of that process. You're not coming alone here. It comes with you as part of your journey. You know, I could put it humorously and say, think about getting in a spaceship and making a journey, and you know, you've got a computer on board telling you everything. You land and then you walk away from the spaceship and you completely forget that it journeyed with you. You know, that kind of humorous concept is a little bit like, you know, this kind of concept of your soul journeying with you, and then you just abandon it. You come in the physical world, you deal just solely with your mind, everything that goes on around you exists in the physical, but you've forgotten that there was all this knowledge and information you came with. And you have to learn how to go back and tap into that. You have to learn how to listen to what your soul is trying to share with you and tell you. And this is why I said, you know, this whole concept of making choices is powerful, because your soul is going to share stuff with you that you are also going to have to make choices on. Now, when it comes to the soul and the beautiful mind, you know, the mind is a very powerful tool to be using in your physical life. But when it comes to the soul and gaining knowledge and wisdom on a universal level, okay, your soul is the key and master to gaining that knowledge. Now, what I describe in my writings and in my teachings, as I now call them, is this whole concept of the soul, you, the inner you, your higher self, and the physical mind. This whole concept of bringing all three together. And the reason you need to do that, and I've explained it before, is that the soul really, from the energy form that it is and its origins, okay, it has a higher bond with you, your higher self, the energy that you were before your physical mind came into being and evolved. And that connection, okay, is primordial. You know, I said you kind of land and you abandon your roots, like your ship, say. It's like abandoning a primordial connection when you exist on this earth, dismissing your soul, dismissing it as something you're only going to deal with on, you know, on your final days. You know what I mean? You need to deal with it now. You need to get to know it now. You need to tap in and tune into it now, because it has a plethora of knowledge, what I refer to as universal knowledge, that it is looking to share with you, to support you, to guide you. And the reason why I've gone back to talking about this is because it's going to be relevant when you need to make choices. Now, you have, or I always say you have, a universal destiny, okay, which is going to be explored as part of your physical destiny, okay? Now, your universal destiny, your soul knows, is aware of. It's here to make sure that that happens and that you partake of your physical journey in tandem or as close as possible to what your universal journey was planned or destined to be. Now, if you become aware of what those kind of energy destinies and energy based kind of paths that are already in existence for you, if you become aware of them, then you're going to have greater knowledge and wisdom when it comes to making powerful choices. And these are going to be soulful choices about your destiny and about your purpose. You know, forget about the minor, well, some of them may not be minor, some of them may be pretty major in, you know, what's going on physically. But remember, okay, that let's shift things back now to the soulful sort of choices you're going to need to make to match your purpose, to match your destiny, to match those higher energy-based things that, you know, if you ignore your soul, you have no concept of, okay? Ignoring your soul means you're not going to be able to tap into those things, okay? It's just the way it is. The mind doesn't know enough of universal knowledge, of soulful knowledge, of energy-based knowledge. Your mind doesn't know enough to tap into that. So you may be thinking, okay, so what does know enough to tap into it? And that's your higher self, your inner you, as I describe it, or I call it, okay? And it is your higher self. That inner you, obviously there's more to this, but just take it from me right now that your inner you is the cornerstone, as I say in my book, is the cornerstone to this whole connection between your soul, you, and your mind. Once you become party to this knowledge and this information, your purpose, your destiny, the greater choices you need to make in this physical life, your higher self, once it becomes aware of them, it can then share them with the mind. So what's happened here is that you're not existing physically to ask the mind, okay, so what do I do? What choices do I make? You're existing physically on a soulful level, engaging your soul, listening to your soul, and you are using that knowledge to tell the mind the choices your higher self has made, your inner you has made already. And once the mind becomes clear about those choices and it becomes clear about what you want to do in this physical life, then it has the clarity physically to help you create those choices, to help you manifest those choices and to help them physically be created in your life. And that's what the passage says. Let me remain empowered by this thought or this understanding and go on to create all that I choose. When it refers to I, you could say, okay, that's me. But I am referring deeper to your higher self, what your higher self now knows, what your higher self now has the power to choose and to create. Incorporating the power of the mind to make these things happen physically, but understanding the power of the soul to get this information and knowledge so that you can now use it wisely. And then as part of this soul engagement process, I've also got 10 secret steps to mind engagement, because we take 10 steps to understanding what the soul is, what it will do, what it will share, what we have to listen to, what we have to communicate with it to understand. And then we take that knowledge and I show you the steps to begin engaging your mind as well, to say, hey, this is what I learned, this is what I understood. Now you help me take the steps I need to take to help this manifest for me and to help it, literally be created in my physical life, so that your experiences of those creations that you are creating as you are existing as part of your life's journey can then be explored and match up or begin to marry up or match up with the universal destiny you were ultimately destined to do or partake of in your physical life. And that, is, a very, very, very powerful thing. And that's why I love going through these passages, because, as you can see, I really delve deeper. I mean, you could just read that and say, oh yeah, I got that thing. But, once I begin to get more kind of channeled insight into the passage, I love sharing that deeper, side of things with you, because I believe that overall, the more you get to understand about your soul, and the more you begin to engage with your soul, the more you begin to partner up with your soul, the more clarity you can give with your mind. And this will help with choice. This will help with making decisions in your life, because in a way you are kind of infusing both the universal knowledge and wisdom, the soulful knowledge and wisdom, with the physical knowledge and wisdom that you can now apply and go on. Okay, I love this bit where it says, go on to create all that I choose. And you can go on to do that. Make the right choices for yourself. Do the right thing. And trust me, when you can make soulful choices, they will become reflective of the physical choices you make. And one of the things I teach is that if you do trust in your soul, you are going to continuously make the right choices and decisions. There's a famous quote of mine. Well, I say famous in that I'm always telling it to people, especially my family and children. And one of the things it says is, it's not going wrong, it's all going right. And I've said this numerous times, my daughter or my son will come up to me and say, oh, this has happened. And I say, it's not going wrong. It's all going right. And the concept or the theory behind that is, no matter what, you are being guided on a path, which is the right path. Even if you may not perceive it as such, or you may not view it as such, or you may think, oh my gosh, I made the wrong choice. If it came from a soulful place, trust me, it's not going wrong. It's all going right. and I will leave that inspiring thought with you today. So, hope you enjoyed this episode. Listen, don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Smash the like button for me if you are already a subscriber. Don't forget to put on your bell notifications, and above all, don't forget to share this episode with those you love and care for. Hopefully we'll be able to touch more hearts, touch more souls, and eventually we will be growing as a soulful family. And sharing this inspiring work is a pleasure for me to do, and I hope you will look forward to sharing it with others too. And in the meantime, if you really do want to support me and you wish to become a patron, check out the link in the description. You're welcome to be a patron, and I will be honoured by your patronage if you choose to do that. Why would you become a patron? Well, it supports me in doing this full time, and then I can be able to help others too. So that was the concept behind this whole patrons thing. So if you want to kind of get into that, then I'm very, very, very grateful for your support. And in the meantime, I've got a lot of information out there for you to make use of. It's all free, or the majority of it is free, to be honest. Audios at my website, information at my website. Sign up to my 365 ways to stay inspired, and you'll get this 30 days of empowerment for free. There's lots of information in my books. Also check out my social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's all there for you. Just simply become a part of it, and by all means, I will leave all the details in the description, but you must definitely keep me posted in the comments as well, because I like to know how you're doing. I like to be able to know that things that I'm sharing is having an impact and making a positive impact in your life and empowering you from a soulful place, as I always like to say. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this series as much as I have. I will love and leave you for now, but have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, and look out for my next episode coming soon. I look forward to seeing you then, okay? Take care. Bye.